喂，你好，我是一个加拿大人，然后我来台湾23年，然后我自己写书。对不起，我的中文没有那么好，所以我可能有时候用英文，有时候用中文。然后我刚来台湾，我当老师，我发现台湾要学英文的很难。然后我也发现大部分的书，他们都会用从美国出版者，然后来台湾，然后他们没有那么了解台湾的环境，所以我发现，如果他们好好的学自然发音，他们以后会越来越就是了解这么念书。所以我做一个公司叫 Train Phonics， 然后 Train Phonics Train 有两个意思，一个是火车，一个是要训练。然后我觉得，如果你要上一个火车，刚开始会慢慢加速，所以你可以上那个火车。可是以后火车越来越快，没办法上去。我觉得你念英文书也一样，如果你刚开始 ABC， 那个你会越来越就是很了解这么念书，这么看书。所以我们有发明一个比较不一样的系统。我们从短母音很在意，就是他们了解短母音。短母音是里面的 A、E、I、O、U， 然后如果他们从短母音开始学，以后他们会越来越就是了解这么念书。所以我们有做一个作业本，那这个作业本我已经写10年，然后在台中很多学校已经用了8年，然后他们会从这里开始就是很了解就是短母音。所以这个老师会说，你圈起来 app， 然后学生会圈起来，然后他们写。所以这个是听音，他们会听和写。另外一个老师会说 ，OK， 你现在要念出来，所以学生会 app 或是 at， 然后这个技术越来越了解，就是这么念书。所以你看，这是短母音，这个是短 O。跟那个后面的字，如果你要好的自然的发音，你要好好的学后面的字，所以这个书就是一个作业本，然后我们又配就是做那个阅读本，所以这个阅读本会在跟他一起，就是会一直学到就是短母音跟长母音。所以如果学生从幼稚园就是好好的学短母音、长母音，他们会一直就是想去，一直了解这么念书。因为我觉得，台湾的政府他们觉得2030，他们要台湾变成一个双语。可是我觉得，如果你真的要台湾当双语，你要从幼稚园或是国小1年级，就是开始好好的学自然发音。如果他们好好的学自然发音，他们会越来越就是可以拿得到很多技术。然后因为如果你学英文在另外一个环境，你会看到英文就是什么都会看到，就是看电视看就是 posters， 就是你们都会学到英文。可是，在台湾，你真的要给他们一个很基本的机会学好，然后以后如果他们一直就是学英文好，他们可以达到就是很会念书。然后我觉得，不管你是谁，你都会念到一个程度，如果你学英文好。所以我们的系统是一个作业本跟一个阅读本，然后就是会一起学。然后我们已经到应该在台湾25个学校。所以当然我觉得台湾人要多了解自然发音是很重要，可是 他们可能有觉得就是没有那么重要，就是小朋友要背字。可是如果你一直要背单字，我觉得你没有以后你学到会很困难，因为就是太多字要学。所以我们觉得，如果你很了解一个字母，你会好好的学英文。对，然后我们一个阅读本套是一个学期，所以一个阅读本套还有那个作业本一起，然后可以拿到很多知识。Yeah. So I'll speak English now, so maybe it's a little bit easier to understand. I've been in Taiwan for 23 years now, and my whole focus on teaching has been to teach students how to learn how to read. Because if students learn how to read properly, their whole education will be much easier. So we believe that we need to start a very calculated way of teaching them. So each step of the way, they learn lots and lots of knowledge. And this is what we believe will help them. And each one of our books is a little bit different because they're only 12 pages. So each book is quite easy for a student to kind of get from the beginning to the end. If the books are too long, like say Dr. Seuss, they're about 60 pages long. It's a little bit difficult for students to feel like they've accomplished something. So we've made our books only 12 pages long so that when a student finishes the book, they feel like, wow, I've done something. I now have come up with a finished product of how I read. And another important thing about these books is that the books will intertwine with vocabulary. So one book will have vocabulary that will reach into another book, and the stories will also intertwine characters. So the books are quite interesting for students to learn how to read. And they'll enjoy reading. So I find if students enjoy reading, they become much more, I mean, like anything, if you're good at basketball, you want to play more basketball. If you're good at reading, you will become a better reader. And so we want to give them the skills that they can learn how to read. If they have the skills to read, they'll enjoy it. And nowadays with students, using their phones more, using iPads, we feel that it's a very important time to teach students how to read. If they learn how to read, then they'll keep picking up books, which I think is a very important thing for society. So what I can maybe do is even start reading some of the books. Let's see, so here's one of the books. It's called To Be King. My dream is to become the next king, said Billie Jean. But you are a girl. You can only be queen, said Tom. Queens are pretty and clean, but a king has so many more things. A king has a throne, she said with a frown. I won't give up until I get my crown. Okay, if you want to be king, you must do 7 big things, 7 tasks that will be very hard. And you can begin today in this very yard, said Tom. First, you must sit alone under a tree. Close your eyes, let go, and think of nothing for a week. Can you do that? I will go get my mat, said Billie Jean. Next, you must go to a faraway land. There you will find a man named Rand. Ask him nicely, and he will give you a cup of magic sand. Then take the magic sand on a train to Green Lake. The lake is filled with mean snakes. Put the magic sand in the lake, and it will turn into ice. Nice, I hate snakes, said Billie Jean. After, you can walk to the middle of the lake. There you will see a sleeping dragon. Wake the dragon and ride it to Cloud Gate. When you get to Cloud Gate, you must find the rainbow ring. Watch out for cloud bees, they will sting. Bzz, bzz, bzz. Take the rainbow ring to the giant. He is the guard of King's Cave. If you give the ring to the giant, he will open the huge gate. Move carefully in the cave. There are traps all around. In the deepest part of the cave, the king's crown can be found. Take it, and then you, the king, will be crowned. Now that you are king, there are so many things you must do, said Tom. Can't I play now that I am king? Asked Billie Jean. No, there's no time for play, said Tom. Well, that's not okay. Now I don't want to be king, said Billie Jean. Maybe I can be king another day. Okay, let's try another book. 我们有另外一套是最基本的基础，所以会给小朋友很了解，就是怎么拿得到。所以这个叫，所以 at, I see a bat. At, I see a cat. Og, I see a dog. Ox, I see a fox. N, I see a hen. N, I see 10 men. Uck, I see a duck. Up, I see a pup. 所以这个是短母音，所以短母音如果他们好好的学，他们可以一直就是有累积级数。然后我们另外比较难的，我可以念给你听。这个是一个 series， 就是4本书在一起。这个叫 Bunny and the Mac Bad Bum. The first time I saw a monster was in the library. Can you believe it? It was Monday after school, and I was sitting in my favorite spot reading about dinosaurs. The library was empty. My name is Bunny, and I live with my grandma. I call her Granny May because her name is Mabel. Mabel sounds just like table, but with an M. Granny May is wonderful, but sometimes she forgets things, like her glasses. One time she forgot that it was Buddy's birthday. Buddy is my pet dog. We do everything together. I gave Buddy an old shoe for his birthday. This made him wiggle like crazy. Another time, Granny May forgot that it was her birthday. So Buddy and I had a surprise birthday party for her. I think Granny May was really happy because she started dancing. I couldn't stop laughing. But I wasn't laughing now. What did I just see? Could it really be a monster? Maybe it was just a kid in a costume. It was strange because I wasn't scared. So I crept a little closer to get a better look. Yep, it was a real monster. The thing was eating books. What kind of monster eats books? It was green, chubby, and had 2 small purple wings. And it was stinky. It smelled like a garbage truck. I had so many questions racing in my mind. Why was a monster in the library? Why was it eating books? And most importantly, was it mean or nice? There's only one way to find out. So I walked up behind it and asked, "Hey, monster, why are you eating books?" The monster got so startled that it jumped up and bumped into the shelf. Its wings tried to flap, but it was too heavy, so it landed with a thud. Just then, a book fell out of its hand. The monster started running for the door, tripped on a book, rolled 3 times, and it was gone. It had a big bum, but wow, it could move fast. I giggled because it looked so funny. I was still a little shocked, but I was also a little curious about the book that fell out of the monster's hand. So I went over and picked it up. The title was The Book of Monsters. I quickly opened the book. There were so many pictures of monsters. Then I saw a picture of the one I had just seen. It was called The Mac Bad Bum. I think I should keep the book. Maybe the Mac Bad Bum will be wanted back one day. Plus, I can learn more about monsters. I had one big question. Why did a monster have a book about monsters? Well, it was time to go home because the library was closing. Granny May will have dinner ready and Buddy will be waiting by the window. So 这个是第36本，第38本我可以念，这个叫 Bunny and Gruff Muggum. The second time I saw a monster was not at the library. It was at a dinosaur museum. And this monster was big. The dinosaur museum was different from the library. In the museum, you could see real dinosaur bones. These bones are called fossils. Fossils are old bones that turn into rock. I found my favorite dinosaur at the museum. The T-Rex was so big and dangerous, but I wasn't scared. I think Buddy didn't feel the same. He kept pulling away. Do you smell something bad? I asked Buddy. It smells like garbage. It reminded me of the Mac Bad Bum. Just then, I heard a hiss. Give me back my book. I turned around and saw the Mac Bad Bum standing right behind me. This time, he didn't look scared. I don't have your book here, I said bravely. I want my book, screeched the Mac Bad Bum. Just then, I sensed something very, very big behind me. And I could tell it wasn't a dinosaur. When I turned around, I was surprised to see a giant, furry blue monster. But it wasn't looking at me. Then the monster opened its huge mouth. Wind like a tornado shot out of its mouth. Everything went flying, the dinosaurs, the tables, the chairs, and even the Mac Bad Bum went flipping away. When I looked up at the giant monster, I could see its eyes were not mean. It looked worried, like it didn't want to scare me. Thank you, I said. This made it smile, but it didn't say anything. What's your name? I asked. The monster put its hand to its mouth and shook its head. I understood. It couldn't talk. So I reached into my backpack and gave it a piece of paper and a pencil. Wow, the monster had really big hands. It gently took the pencil and paper and started writing. I held my breath. What would it write? Name, Gruff Muggum. Open mouth, make big wind. No talk, can write. My name is Bunny. It's nice to meet you. Thanks for helping me. That was really amazing. How did you make so much wind? Just then, we heard someone coming. We better get out of here before someone sees you. It nodded its head, and we both ran out of the messy museum. I felt bad leaving such a mess, but I needed to hide Gruff Muggum. I had so many questions, but they would have to wait. 好，第39、40本，如果你有兴趣，你可以去我们的展，我们是 A913。好，谢谢你们，拜拜。